Hello everyone, this is Megazip and welcome back to Satisfactory. Well, as you can see, factories are still kind of going, still churning out our Phase 2 parts. So still not quite ready to move to Tiers 3 and 4, or is it 5 and 6 yet? But we're getting there, slowly but surely. I'm standing on top of my thing here, as you can see. I did add a few things, a little bit of road stuff over there for all of the tractors that I have going. A couple of stations over there. I did finish one of the parts, as you can see. And right now, all of the parts that's making are just going into the sink right there. I know that it'll be an important component in the next phase, but for right now, I don't want to store them while I'm, building up the rest of it. So, yeah, I decided to just sink it for now. Besides, this whole thing might end up being like moved over there or something. So I'm not too worried about it at the moment. There has been a few adjustments since then. As you can see, my elevator's a little bit taller because I took a little notion from my 1.1 version of the design room and built a room around the designer. Of course, I had to move the designer over in order to do this, but yeah, not as many levels as the other one was. But it works. There's no lights in it right now, so designing will be mostly a day thing because it might be too dark in there. But we'll just sort of play around with it. But if I walk in here, you'll see I did lower it to the ground a little bit. It was a little bit rough on this side over here. There's still a little bit of bleed through, but not much I can do about it. The one in my 1.1 playthrough is the 5x5. So I never got around to building it for the 4x4. The Mark 1. So it worked a little bit easier in the 5x5. But you can see we have 3 additional levels along with the ground level on this one instead of like 6 or whatever it was I did for the other one. But I did stop at that level there rather than going to the top. It's open at the moment. As soon as I figure out how I want to handle that. I don't have any lights systems yet, so I did finally get the frames and various other things that we'll be kind of working with. But I don't have like or I have windows, but I don't have like the signs or any of the other things that we typically want to do. My phone's freaking out there. So, yeah, as far as like transport stuff goes, I did unlock the Explorer, so we have that. Of course, I had the elevator, so I had to expand that a little bit. Nothing new in any of the other ones, not really. I mean, I did unlock the smart splitter, which is good. We'll be using that in the future as part of some builds. I did unlock the power switch, which I'm gonna end up building a new power station. We're into multiple parts, so if you guys hadn't seen it yet, just kind of go over here. I have an old power station that I built for during 1.1 right here. It's based on one of the big towers. As you can see, it's got double lines coming in it. I'm going to be making a new one that's going to be wider than this one. I think. Haven't quite decided yet. It's going to be a little bit taller. As you can kind of see parts of that kind of bleeding over the top there. So I'm going to be redoing it because I actually want to add a power switch in there. So that way it's a full power station, and we'll also have an add-on that will include batteries. So some definite plans there. We could play around with that design tonight for sure. But just to kind of see here, I did have this set up with the elevators, so you can see I have walkways set up, which is kind of cool. That was an interesting thing to set up here. So I can come in here and just pick, you know, which design floor I want to go on. So I wanted to go on the first design level. You know, it's kind of in between walls, but you know, I have the doors that can be on either side that all fit in there, and I got this as close to it as I could get without it, you know, complaining. So I think it'll work out quite well. We'll be working in here today, doing some designs. I was kind of giving you a little bit of an update on what's happening here. So we'll come back to that in a minute. Let's see. Here is the so the Doom Buggy, if you will, the Explorer. I have this in sort of an army green color. I also added this sort of little setup over here, and this is for fuel. So I'll show you over here. I got plenty of biofuel. One of the things that I discovered working with these trucks is in the newer setup, there's currently not a way to stop them and have them wait until they have a full load before leaving. So kind of noticed that on Friday when I was streaming on Friday, and I had the other truck going. So what I do now is I'll run it for a little while. So let me show you on this particular one here. Since I'm actually done with this one because it goes to the one space elevator part that's done. But essentially, oh, and I also gave it the UPS color scheme, which I thought was kind of funny. My little UPSs. Hey, it's El Capitano on YouTube, on Twitch. How you doing, my friend? Welcome to the stream. I'm on YouTube now too, bud. Just so you know. But you can see we're on the vehicle path. So you can see I have the different areas of a pickup, and then I have a route where it goes here, then you know, then back again. Looking for group dual stream. Yeah, I'm dual streaming. Yes, on. Oh, I'm sorry. LFG always meant looking for a group whenever. I'm old. That's what it meant. That's what it means to me. Sorry, dude. That's what it's always meant to me, man. I'm old and older acronyms. So yeah. But yeah, I'm on YouTube now, and I'm on 1440 over there. So if you want the best quality of this stream, guys, be sure to visit the YouTube, because that is where you'll get 1440 at I'm streaming it, was it 20 kilobits per second over there versus 5 on Twitch. So, you know, pick whatever flavor works for you. But as you can see, I'm doing the current route, so there's nothing in here there's no choices where I can tell it to stop. There's nothing in the station here. So you can see there's a pause button there, but that pause doesn't do anything. I can't do anything with it. I can't, there's nothing we can do in here either. There's nothing I can say in here to tell it to stop when it, you know, don't load until you have enough to fill up the truck. Now, this one right now doesn't have anything attached to it anymore since it's full, right? So, well, in fact, that's a whole lot of extra parts right there. Um, but it's all going into the sink. So there's that. I can get my phone to stop chirping. Okay. I tried this game out once, hurt my brain. Well, it'll probably hurt your brain more on mine because with the 1.2 update, they gave us the ability to randomize the nodes and modify things like the space elevator parts is 25, whatever the normal one version is. I have to upload 25 times that amount. That's why the amounts are 25,000 for those first two. Um, yeah, because I only had to do 1,000 in the original game. All of the machines operate at half the amount of power. Yeah, my phone is just chirping today. But yeah, oh, and also, you know, I didn't really use these tubes very much. I rarely, well, honestly, I didn't really use these hyper tubes, but I am using them today, so gets me up there, so that way I don't have to travel too far. You can see we're building the framework parts, as you can see. We're going at about 10 per minute because so we're doing 10 a minute, which is kind of slow, but you know, based off of how much material I have, it's about the best we can do at the moment. I could theoretically do more because you can see I've got more than enough beams, but it comes down to well, quite frankly, I could probably speed it up, and I didn't even really think about it. Now, if I go upstairs, as you can kind of see, I got a little bit of a loop going upstairs, which is kind of cool. This is where I'm making these right now. Or no, those are stators. So those are stators. They go all the way down. And see, this is where the stators are. They come out here. They go down here. So this right now is making the automated wiring. Of course, I don't need any more. So rather than having it stop making them, I'm syncing them. So, and I have a single ticket. Shoop. It just kind of shoots you right out there, doesn't it? At any rate, you can see there's a little bit of minor bleed through over here from the, that, but that could be easily solved. Yeah, now it's gone. Anyway. So we're going to work in the Blueprint Designer today. Let's go back to the main floor here. Since we can't do anything as far as tier 5 and 6 goes, because you know I have 10,000, you know, I have like 10,000 parts to make. We're gonna work inside of my designer building here, and you know the title of the stream is Roads and Factories. So as far as how that's gonna work is I'm thinking about working on some highway designs since we are going to be doing a lot more trucks and transport. I mean, we're still going to do trains when we unlock the trains, but right now we don't have trains. We have, you know, these basic tractors. So I thought I would make some better looking roads. Now, one of the things I was thinking about here, and we're going to go down here for just a moment, because I did build a little bit of a concrete thing down here, or asphalt thing. Nothing major, just something for them to travel on. And for the most part, it's just too wide, right? Too wide. And for those tractors, I think it works okay. But I'm a little concerned about the bigger tractors that we're going to have and whether or not that's going to be wide enough. So I've thought about maybe going 3 wide. So we're gonna look at 3 wide, and just kind of bear with me here. I don't think I can actually build a truck in here, can I? Well, I can't anyway because I don't have enough modular frames. But we can kind of use the silhouette a little bit. So the center line is right here. But we're going to be doing 3 wide, so we don't really have to depend on these lines too much. So right. Let's start with, and I'm gonna use regular foundations instead of the asphalt ones, just because they're going to be a little easier to see. And trying to make sure that I pick the right location. And right now we're just experimenting, so there's nothing set in stone at the moment. I just want to kind of look at something because I'm trying to decide now I'm going to go up. So we got 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm just gonna make 9 here for a moment. So the initial thought was that the center here would be where we would put a dividing line, so to speak. So it would kind of go like that. Now I want to go up high for this next part. Let's go up to the next level here. And then you guys can kind of help me figure this out. Because it's not going to be a the roads that I'm building are going to be one directional. In other words, they're not going to need, like, this will be a white line when I finalize the design. But if we look at the truck itself, looks like there's more than enough room to handle it. Because I'm a little worried that the other trucks are going to be bigger. Or am I just overthinking this a little bit? I could just be overthinking this a little bit. Because if we look at something like this, it's not very thick. See, this would look something like, so if we do it like this, then that means I have 3 lanes, and it would be something like that. are you guys' thoughts on that? Because a lot of what I'm going to be doing for the sort of the travel is going to be based on whether I pick something like a 3 wide or a 2 wide. Anybody have any thoughts on it? Because I want to say that the other trucks are wider than this thing is. And I might have to go into my 1.1, which it's basically updated to 1.2. I might have to go into my other game save to sort of check this. Because I've got those other vehicles there. I think that might be the right play here. So let me just clear this out. I'm gonna save the current game so I don't lose any production that's being made. We'll go into my other game save so we can look at... I'm going to just park myself right here. I'm going to go into the other game save so we can look at the other trucks because I already have access to them over there. So let me just save this under my current save here. And I'm going to go back to the main menu real quick. So we're still going to be designing, so I don't want anybody to think anything different here. I might have to look in my other game playthrough here. So just bear with me while I get this situated. As you can see, there is the 5x5 designer right there. Now I have both large trucks, like the normal one that takes normal sort of content, and then I got the one that's the fluid truck too. So we'll be able to look at both of them. Over here, I've kind of got this set up as just too wide. So we can go out here. So this is a 3 wide setup right here. So this is one of the trucks. This is the new fluid truck that we'll be using when we get into tiers 5 and 6. I mean, you can kind of tell just by looking at it. See how that just barely takes one wide? I think the 3 lane might, the 3 wide is going to be the perfect setup here. Let's just go over. Let's just look. Yeah, let me. Wow, I don't. I don't have anything. Let me go get some stuff here. I think I took everything out because I was working on something over there. And of course, I don't have. Oh no, I've got all kinds of concrete on me. What am I thinking? Yeah. So I'm just gonna zoop this up a little bit. I'm not gonna save this, so it doesn't matter really. And pattern wise, there. So you can kind of see. You see that? That's 3 wide. I think that's I think that's going to be the best. Because these are going to be the main trucks that are going to be the ones flowing out there anyway. So I think that's actually the right move to go 3 wide. Here's the other one. We'll just move them both over there. Yeah, I see that. I think that to me looks perfect sized. Plenty of room to work those in. As far as pathing goes, we can path that out just fine. You can see it even covers the full width, so I think that'll work. What do you guys think? So this is a 3 wide road. Three as in 3 blocks wide. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Like I said, these are the ones that are going to be doing the majority of the driving. You can see they hold exactly the same amount as one of the stations does. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to go with. All right. So let me go back to my to our main stream game here. Let's look at designs for a 3 block wide road system. All right. So this is going to be done in a couple of different ways. We will go ahead and do that. I'm gonna be using the 2-meter foundations. And make sure I stay within. That's the halfway point right there. Okay, good. So we'll make this now the reason I'm going to have these go in the same direction is because I'm going to have, you know, anybody who's, you know, driven on highways knows that most kind of larger highways are always separated. The directions are always separate to prevent any issues. So, all right. So with that, we'll go with the solid line in the center. We need to customize that color. It needs to be white. So let's just make a swatch right here. Okay. We'll leave it with a matte. It would be interesting if it was shiny, but actually just leave it like that. All right. So we have that part. Now, I want to have something on the ends here so the damn things don't fall off. I am the kind of person that if I'm driving, you know, could fall off. Now we can look at the sort of this one. Of course, I can't see, so So we can go with these. Of course, it usually helps if they're all the way to the end here. So I'm going to put the low barrier on this side and put the higher barrier, so I have a taller one right here. We'll put this one on this side. Dang it, can't see. That. I'm going to put that one there. Now, which one do we like better? The taller one or the shorter one? I'm going to go upstairs real quick so we can get a better look at it. Probably like the shorter one better. Yeah, I'm leaning towards the shorter one. Now there is this barrier too that we can look at. Now, do we think we like that barrier better or that barrier better? What is everybody's opinion on that? And, you know, for those of you who watch later on YouTube, since you'll be able to comment on it, leave a comment and let me know which one that you like. And while you're there, you can, you know, hit the like button. I don't know. I think I'm kind of undecided here. I kind of like them both for different reasons. And hear me out for a second here. Here's what I'm thinking. If you look at it, like if we decide to put like one of these and then immediately next to it, we put in the other direction. I like the high one in between the directional design with this one on the outside, but I don't know if I'll ever do that though, because I'm probably going to end up putting the train in between it. Like designing the train. So even then, that might not be a bad thing to have the larger barrier over there as opposed to this one. I mean, these are more reflective, as in you can see them better. And granted, all of this stuff's going to be automated. It's not like I'm going to be always the one driving, right? I mean, I could paint these, I think. If I wanted to paint those a different color. I'm assuming I can change the color of those. I can change the bottom color of them. So if I went with something like it's yellow or something. So, hold on. That's not the one I wanted to do that with. So, okay. that make it any better? Howdy, howdy. Whoop. The downside of being up here. There we go. So let's take that one and put it over here. We are working on blueprints. Working on some road blueprints. Yeah. I kind of like that. I think we can work with that. What's everybody think? It's just a normal road, right? There's nothing special about it. However, I'm going to be making, like, you know how they're going to be up off the ground. So it's going to be like up in the air because I'm going to build sort of like something for it to stand on. You'll see what I mean in a minute here. Let's just go ahead and save this one as it is. We'll call this one-way road. Road. I really need to edit that. And call it something else. Like the is undefined always going to be there? Just create a new one. Let's call this roads. But I want to change the icon to something. It's cool that they got all those shapes, but looking for the one that's like asphalt. There we go. That one. It's not a ramp. Come on, you guys are killing me here. Half foundations. Man, boy, they want to give you everything except for what you want. Up here, right? This is just an A. Anyway, hope everyone is enjoying the stream so far. Hopefully everything's coming in nice and clear. Okay. So let's clear the design. All right. So This should be the center, right? Right here. I want to look at a few different scenarios here. So we have a few different kinds of columns that I can make. And so the idea is I don't want to make like a huge, tall looking one because I would rather build the bottom of it like after the fact. So I might build a bottom piece and then a top piece, and I want to put the road right on, put a road on top of it. So let's start off with something in the center here. I want to get this as centered as possible since we are going to be working with the road, which is already centered. So we'll start with something like that. And of course, we have these smaller concrete pillars. We have different kinds of beams. And even in the foundations, we have like half foundations. So you can see from that it's basically the same size. So let's move this over. And then maybe go up. Okay, I had it in there, and then it took it out. Let's put it back in. There. One right there. Now, granted, it's not as wide as the actual road itself. So I'm not quite sure how I feel about it yet. Let's go up a level here. It might be wide enough. So all right. Partially overlapping the designer. How is it overlapping the designer? It was built in the designer. Okay. So let's now we'll go back downstairs. Not gonna let me do it, is it? Oh. I thought I had it set to where it wouldn't move, but okay. So it's clearly on top. A little bit of overhang on both sides. It's not fully centered. Let's move it over a little bit. That's about as centered as it's going to get. Oh, damn it. That That did not work the way I wanted it to. What's going on? Okay. How is that overlapping? Okay. Now. Make sure we're okay. It just doesn't seem right. Why does that not seem right to me? I'm looking at this sort of distance right here. See how that's much wider? I didn't move this. This is still setting in the center. So, why is that considered? Is this one of your favorite games? It is one of my favorite games. But if I go back, it's frustrating because the designer is saying it's like impeding on it, but it's not. I think the problem is, you see where that arrow is, it needs to be on this side, I think. It needs to be facing this direction. I think this is what's throwing it off. Top 5? You mean top 5 favorite game? Is that what you're suggesting? Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I like this game because it allows me to work on my creativity skills. There we go. Now we have even here. I still don't think that's even. Top 10 or 20. I don't know if I can put it into, you know, words like that. So 1.5. Yeah, it definitely needs to go over this way. It's not overlapping the designer. How is it overlapping the designer? Is that overlapping the designer? Better question. What are your top 5 favorite games of all time? Ah, interesting question. Well, one of my most of my like overly really true favorite games are more old school arcade style. So I grew up in an era with like Galaga and games like that. So that's my favorite game is Galaga. Why is that allowed and the other one is not? I almost don't want to place that down. This is frustrating. It's not because of the barriers. It's barriers can't. No, it can't be. There's too much room from between there and there. The gap. I'm being a little OCD about the gap here. No. Games I can think of is NFS, Underground 2, and Diablo 3. I mean, if Diablo 2, I came up during that time period. Well, I can't really say that. I was an adult when Diablo 2 came out. Um, I was a kid, a teenager when Galaga came out. So I have a soft spot for nostalgia games. Now I don't have a PS2. I've never owned one. I have an original PlayStation, but I don't have a PS2. I still have a 360, but I don't really play it. I bought it for my kids. I didn't really buy it for me. Yeah, it clearly shows it's not centered. That is centered based on its own thing. What is NFS, if you don't mind me asking? I may just have to have separate ones here. You know, oh, Need for Speed, right? Okay. Well, I mean, I played the original Need for Speed. Um, I played I think it was called Hot Pursuit. Back then the driving games I played was like Test Drive. I played this game called Test Drive. Do we do with a 1 meter? I think 1 meter would probably be better. 2, 3, 4. Let's go down one. There we go. Oh, Forza Motorsport 2. It's been years since I played them. I complete that game multiple times. Oh no, I see. Forza wasn't even out when I was younger. Forza came out much later. Alright, so... Burnout. I played the original Burnout. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go upstairs because I need to place something up there. I can't see it right now. I'm gonna have to rebuild that same road because it's... since I couldn't get it to center correctly. We'll just have a separate one. You know, we can have multiple road types here. Damn it. Sorry, I dropped my phone. People insist on texting me, or I get emails way too often. Paperboy. Well, I played the original Nintendo. I have my original Nintendo, the regular NES, not the Super NES, the original NES. So when we look at it from that perspective, my favorite title in that case would be Contra. I have not played the original Nintendo, only Super NES. Okay. Well, I can understand. How about Sega? I have the original Sega Genesis. Rocket Knight Adventures. You know, my favorite Sega Genesis game was Afterburner. Okay, so that's better. Combat Cars? Never heard of it. I mean, I have a Sega Genesis, but I haven't played like a ton of games on it. It was actually a re-release of the Sega Genesis. You know, back when I was younger, it was all about I was mostly me playing Afterburner. All right, not a bad column necessarily. I'm not done with it, but not bad. Let's see. I think I have some inverted ramps we could look at instead of those. Get rid of these. Streets of Rage. I have heard of Streets of Rage. I played Double Dragon, but that was at the arcade. You know, I came up in an era of the arcade, so in my youth I played a lot of of the arcade style stuff. See, I like the idea of the angles, but I don't really like it necessarily sticking out, although if I do it that way, kind of make it look like it was part of it. Space Invaders, yes, I played Space Invaders on the Atari. Yeah, me trying to name like my top game, video games is really a difficult one because my range of games specifically is all over the place. I played the original Alien versus Predator and the one that came after it. Okay. I kind of like this. What do you guys think? You like that? I believe that's no. Alien versus Predator was a PC game first. Yeah, it was a PC game before it was a console game. I used to play. We used to do LAN parties back in the day. So, um, LAN parties was just kind of where everybody got together and we played video games like for 12 to 24 hours. Mega Man? No, I didn't really play Mega Man. Really wasn't my thing. I probably have it somewhere. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Interesting, because this is a 4x4 and it's not even at the edge yet. And yet, it's all the way to the edge over here. How the hell did that happen? Interesting. Well, we can't have this. There was this one game from Sega Genesis called Sewer something. I don't know offhand. Not sure how I feel about that. Sewer Shark? Oh, maybe. Oh, shit, I gotta go up one. I mean, I played a lot of, like, weird games when I was younger. I played a game called Burger Time, where your entire job was just making dropping burgers down to the bottom. But again, we're talking arcade. And then eventually, I want to say eventually it was on the original Nintendo, but I don't recall offhand. We are going to go with white. It's a Sega CD. I mean, I believe you. I mean, the Sega Genesis I have's got a bunch of built-in games in it, but I haven't really messed with them. We can leave them white. I don't think we need to make them yellow. That's not a bad segment. Let's go back downstairs and keep looking here. And I'm going to be experimenting with a few different styles here, so it's not just about the poles either. I might extend this all the way down here. I looked it up, taking me back 10 years. Yeah. Can't remember that well 10 years ago. Yeah. That makes a lot of us right there. Now, what I've been debating on is whether or not I've seen some people that will make, like tunnel pathways through and all that. I don't know if I want to go through all that. But I might want to hang some stuff here. So let me look at 1 meter foundation. What if we took that right all the way into the edge here? And let's look at this for a minute. You still get your angles. Not sure what the hell that is, but so do the same thing over here. Yeah, see, I thought old people like me were the ones that were supposed to be forgetful. Well, two of the most recognized games is Pac-Man and Donkey Kong, and I played both of them. I want to say my father's favorite video game was Ms. Pac-Man. I'm old. No. You are mistaken, sir. You are not. You are not. I am, but you're not. Alright, so I think I like the design. What do you guys think of this highway piece here? You have people calling you uncle or unk. Please. Let me put it to you this way. About, I want to say 15 years ago, a person at Taco Bell gave me a gave me a senior discount, and I'm not and I'm not that old. Hell, I'm not that old now. "22, feeling like 30. I'm, I'm, yeah, feeling like you're 30. Well, I'm 30 years older than you, and I feel like I'm in my 60s. So don't even go there. I'm 52. I'm 10 years past the answer to life, universe, and everything. I don't know. Is there anything else that we want to think about putting in here? Maybe power. Like I could put... I could put one of these under there. Like maybe put one like right in the center on both sides. Because we will still need to carry power. Now I don't have the light, you know, the fancy lights, so I might not need those there. Gonna be a grandpa soon. No, not likely. That would work. That would require my kids to have relationships, which they don't. So, yeah. I think, what's everybody's opinion? You like this design? I'm not going by any references. I'm just, I picked the center because I didn't want to put two in the same, I didn't necessarily want to put two of these columns in the same deal. I could easily take those out and put one here and one here. But then if I put one right next to it, then, you know, then they're butting. That's why it's in the middle. Looks good. Hey, Chris. What up, my man? Yeah, I like it. I think it's going to work. We don't need any lights or anything underneath because, well, there ain't going to be anybody under there anyway. All right. Well, I'm going to save this. So, guess we'll just, no, I'll do that. Let's see, highway. Two-lane. Suspended. Make sure it's saved. I was at a restaurant and I ordered a whiskey and didn't get carded. Waiter told me I was old enough. I was at a grocery store one day. I was in my, let's just say I was around 45-ish. I got carded at a grocery store. I looked at him. I was like, do I look like I'm not old enough? And they looked at me and they said, well, we have to ask everybody up to the age of 40. I was like, I'm flattered. They said, why is that? I was like, because I'm older than that. That you think I'm 40. Now they don't even bat an eyelash. So, you know. All right. So we have a suspended piece, and that's good. We have one that's not suspended, which I may end up getting rid of, because I think I just want suspended ones. Your grandpa got carded for cough syrup. Well, you know, there was a bunch of kids buying that kind of stuff to, you know, to make drugs with, so I can understand that. Okay, this one, I think I'm going to get rid of it. And this. I'm going to call this driving. He's 72, yeah. All right, so we have this one, and I like it. We'll probably play around with that one here in a moment. Let's go ahead and clear this out. Now, the thing also that I have to work with is the bottom side of that. So, oh, excuse me. So what we have is we have these big concrete pillars, right? So this is sort of that part of it. Now, we also have these big pillar supports. So we have a big pillar support that we can put in. Right? And then you could, let's say I put in one like that. Now I'm going to go upstairs. We're going to put the blueprint in just to show you what it would kind of, I guess, look like. And this is why I don't know if I even want to bother creating the bottom half, because this is probably what I do anyway. But like if I bring in the highway, it would essentially be like that, right? And to make sure it was facing the right way. Right, so it ended up looking like this. So if I go back down the bottom, it does mean that wherever I go, you know, wherever I set this up, I'll have to like install the bottom half of it. But it will essentially look like that. Only it could be even taller than that. And that's why I don't know if I really want to build a bottom section. Necessarily. Because it would end up looking something like that. Now let me just clear out the design here. I guess I should be getting all of my components out of there. Alright, so now that we had a chance to kind of play around with that one, let's look at it in a real world setting. Just for the hell of it here. And I don't know if I'm going to, you know, there's still a lot of things that I need to build. Like I need to do ramps, I need to do curves, those kind of things. However, I could Like if I'm gonna, like, let's say I'm gonna build something to go all the way over there, which is, well, eventually we'll do that. I can bring this in first of all. I always want the arrow facing me. So immediately, you know, we set it in place and then we have to take it however high up we want. Right? So, like, I could essentially build it out like that. Now, how will this work? Well, I'm gonna, it has auto connect, which is funny, um, because there's nothing to auto connect. So I'm just gonna build this. It's not permanent. I'm gonna take it out, but I just want to show how we can utilize this in the future, because we're going to be doing a lot of it. And I've never really messed with highway blueprints either, so I'm just kind of playing with this for a minute, because I'm going to do the auto connect next, because I want to see what that does here. All right, so now let's do it again. Okay. Now I am going to do auto connect. And we're going to raise it up. Like that. And you can kind of tell it's not connecting. It doesn't connect. And a lot of that has to do with the way it was designed, right? So in order for it to work, I have to essentially connect it myself. So I need to see how these kind of connect. So I kind of need to see if I did it right or if it needs... It's definitely not right. See that? And this could be, you know, this is just me learning how to be a designer for this kind of stuff, because not typically things that I've done. Geez, you can... I have no depth perception. That looks right. Hey, I got it. That was way harder than it should have been. But that just gives you a little bit of a sense on what it'll look like, I think, when I start building it, right? Because then I can take these and go like that. I could take it straight to the ground. And you notice it's not touching the ground all the way. So at that point, that's when I can bring this in. And you can see that that's how it gets locked in. And then you just take one of these. And you can see, in some cases, you don't even need to put it in. But that's not terrible. I mean, what do you guys think? You like it? Should there be one on each side? Like, should the columns be underneath these sections? And keep the middle free? You know, maybe I'll make both versions of it. Where the center part is free and the columns are on the sides. Like I said, this is a whole new thing for me, so kind of learning it. Okay, let's take these out. I do think that I might, because of the way that it's on the designer itself, I might need to move it to the edge. So that way it lines up better. Maybe. So let me change the column on it. To the double column on the sides, and then maybe I'm gonna like sort of adjust it accordingly. All right, so let me center how I want this laid out. So it won't be in the dead center. Where's the arrow? Is the arrow right here? No. So I'm going to take this as close to the edge as possible to right there. I think. Yeah, here's the arrow. So now it's all the way to the back. Now, because of that, I think I can get a whole nother one in here. So let me take these out. And let's see, can I get another one in? I can. So let's add this in. There, so now I have the full length of it, so this might actually connect a lot better. Now, this was the dead center, so I'm going to take this out now. And what I will do is I will put column here. won't it line up? Interesting. And so if I do the 2-column wide like that, then I can put another, like every 2, right? So if I put another one here, right, I need to do that. So we end up having something like that. Granted, I don't think that one's centered, so I'm going to have to redo that one. So. Okay. So this gives me a 2-column wide style. And it gives me the full length. So this might actually be a good thing. Let's put this on both sides. Let's go upstairs and add in the lines. So let's go up here. Yeah, I definitely didn't put it in quite right, did it? That's funny. So let's fix the pattern. And let's put it in the correct way, like that. So this might actually work a little bit better. And just like the other one, we're going to test this one too. All right. I like it. So we're going to same icon, highway, oh, was it 3x4 suspended, or no, we'll just say 3x4 with, I can't use a slash, with 2-column. I don't know. I'm going to end up changing the name of all of these. Just what I'm going to do for right now. So we'll put this in here. And we'll save it. All right, now we'll clear it out. Now there's no, I didn't put any like power on that one. So I'll probably come back to it again and add power to it. Let's go back down where I was and let's put one in and see how it connects. You know, see how two of them connect to each other, that kind of thing. Because one of the things that I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to be going across this entire valley with this, so they're going to get used. I may not know exactly where they're going to get used yet, but they're going to get used. All right. So act like I'm going to aim that way. Okay. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, that at least gave me a line that shows that it's centered. Now, whether it's correct or not, I don't know. Doesn't look like it. I don't know how reliable that center line is. I'm going to head off. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming out. There we go. I like it. Right into the drink. All right, Chris, what do you think? You like this better than the other one? What do you think? I mean, it kind of gives more stable vibes. I know that. Everything appears to be more or less even. Which is also what I was going for. You're partial to the single column? Well, I'll probably keep both of them, but I am going to update the single column so that way it goes a full 4 instead of 3. I think. That's what this is supposed to be, is a raised freeway. Absolutely. But this is going one direction, not two. I'm going to have, there'll be like 2 of these. There'll be a whole nother one over, like there'll be a whole nother one like over here. So you can almost think of it here. Let me just lay this out here. Let me lay it out. Actually, you know what would be better is if I could get up there and do it. Yeah, my depth perception ain't worth a damn. It's still off. So it's essentially going to be kind of like that. Only it's going to be more like... more like that. One going one way and one going the other. Because the idea is in the center, I want to lay the groundwork for the trains. Because the train is going to probably go through the center. I haven't really decided yet. It's kind of where I'm leaning towards, though. So if we want to further imagine this a little bit, how about this? Imagine this. I'm only going to put one row in, just so you can kind of get the gist of how this is going to look. Now, granted, I don't know if I'm going to use these thick ones. I might use the thinner ones, but I'm just doing this for scale. And then we add in... Oops. Then we add in the blueprint here. And it'll look something like that. So imagine having... you know, something like that. Let's just do the whole thing here. This is what I've been visioning. I don't know if I'm going to go with it, but... But the whole travel system is going to look kind of like that. With trains in the middle and roads on the outside. So what do you think about that? Yeah, and so that's the other thing too. I've considered maybe putting the trains inside here too. Like imagine, let's imagine that scenario, okay? Let me just kind of... let's imagine that for a minute. So imagine the scenario where I put the train underneath and I run trains underneath and I run the highways at the top. Then this wouldn't even be a thing right here. It would just be, you know, something like, it'll be a much higher highway. But I could probably have one-way trains, like a train going one way, a train going another way. But I would have the highway system already in place, so I could easily come in and just add it. And it doesn't even have to be these either, although it probably will be, because I want them to, you know, kind of have a little bit of scale. It could be these, so I don't, I guess it could be, I know those are, yeah, I don't really have any smaller ones. These are, they're either the full 4 or it's a 0.5. There's no smaller one in here. I wish there was. I wish there was a 2 meter, a 2 meter one in there. So I probably could have both. I could use the center ones whenever I'm like going in a direction where there's not going to be any trains. You know what I mean? But just the way it looks right now, you could easily drive a train through that. I mean, keep in mind though, they will be a lot taller than this. This is just so that we can see it, you know, in our own perspective here. But yeah, each one will probably have their own. But I'm just not going to build it into the blueprint right now. I could always add it in later, but right now I don't think I'm going to add it in. So let's take these back out. This is just testing the blueprints themselves here. Now, there is a place I want to use these already. It's over where my steel factory is. I'm going to be modifying that steel factory. And it's a real pain in the ass to get in and out of there. So, I thought about putting in this so that way I could get over to it a little easier. But I still have to make incline and decline modifications. So. We're not quite there yet, but that's a good start, I think. I think we'll keep them both. So let me update that one, the single column one, so that way I can go a full 4. Because it just make it a little bit easier to work with. And that's probably where we're going to leave it today. So we mostly just did blueprint for road stuff. Didn't really get into the factory part of the blueprints. We'll probably mess with that on Wednesday. So let's come back into the design room here. We can look at our original single column one here. Make sure that it's centered. Again, you know, original center. Before I start playing with this a little too much. Okay. And then we can walk this puppy back to the edge and go ahead and start it. And what I can do now is I can add that extra lane in here, and that'll actually help. And I'll even go ahead and add an extra power thing too. I have to fix that. And then we can add another power thing right here. Make sure everything lined up right. And we can technically go ahead and connect these. So there's that. Let's go ahead and add our barriers back in. And we'll go upstairs and make sure the lines are correct. And then we'll just update that blueprint. And of course it's backwards because it's just kind of how it goes. There. Now it does kind of leave it, you know, I guess you could call it lopsided because it's not centered anymore. So I would need to like move it to like right here. So I'll need to take these out and put them back in and make it centered. That. Good there, good there. And now it's recentered on the, again. So yeah. There's your center column, or single column. So that one is highway 3x4 with 2 column. I'll make this one highway 3x4 with 1 column. Technically that should be with 4 column, but you know. Highway 3x4 with 1 column. Select icon. Select directory. There we go. So I'll probably delete that one because this one's the same one, right? Make sure it's saved. And we'll take all of our stuff out of it. And we can go in and remove this one. So again, it's the same one. It's just all right. So that's that. So we're right at time. So you know, the whole time we've been doing this, those things have been hammering away. So let's go check on them real quick. check on the frameworks. This is going to take a few days to get all of them, so to get these done, there's just so many parts to make. Yeah, so it's almost full. I mean, technically I have 1 truckload worth. So, yeah. But I'm not going to worry about it right now. I think we made some good progress, you know, creating a couple of blueprints. Blueprints can take a little bit of design time to make, so I appreciate everybody hanging out with me while I kind of work through these. I have like a ton of blueprints that I want to do, so some of them I'm going to do live on stream, some of them I'm going to record at some point. I haven't got to that point yet. I want to get through this phase first before I start doing any blueprints for regular videos. So I guess that's where we're going to leave it. So let me just save the game here. So I'll just say phase 2F blueprints. That way we know what we did. And there we have it. So again, thanks everyone for coming out. Hope you have a good evening. If you're on Twitch and you like what you see, don't forget to hit that follow button. I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 o'clock Central till 10-ish. Fridays sometimes go late. If you're on YouTube, you're not subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you like the video that you can watch later, hit that like. Everything helps the channel in every way possible. You know, hours watched, likes, dislikes, leave comments, and anything in between. And you know, if there's any issues with the video, the quality, or audio, or anything, you know, feedback is definitely something I want, positive or negative. I mean, you know, we've been doing this for 3 weeks on YouTube now, and I'm always looking to improve. So with that being said, have a good evening, everyone, and we'll see you Wednesday.